Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. The bright lights of prime time shine on a big-time ACC matchup. Number 4, Florida State hosts number 10, Clemson. And the winner, folks, takes dead aim at a possible national championship. Buckle up, everybody. The Saturday night roller coaster is leaving the station. Good evening, everybody. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brett Musburg. You know, Kirk, there's something known as fool's gold. Looks real shiny, real good. But you go into the appraiser and he says not worth much. So why should everybody believe in Florida State this time around?
Well, I think that this is a legitimate top 5 team this year. And I think the big reason I looked at this team on paper was because they have more depth, they have more speed. Jimbo Fisher and his staff have done a really good job of recruiting. A veteran quarterback now in E.J. Manuel. Now we'll see, because this is by far the toughest test, not only that they've seen up to this point, maybe the toughest test that they'll face all year.
And Kirk, when everybody looks at the Clemson lineup, all they see are speedy weapons. And how about the quarterback, Tajh Boyd?
Well, Tajh Boyd is in his 2nd year running this system for Chad Morris. It's kind of a Gus Malzahn type of offense. It's a hurry-up tempo offense. They're going to run outside with Sammy Watkins. They're going to run up the middle with Andre Ellington. They're going to take some shots downfield. It's going to be a heck of a matchup with that Clemson offense against the Florida State defense.
Ah, the defense. Another Stoops is the orchestrator for Jimbo Fisher. Mark Stoops, what about this defensive unit?
Well, I think for Florida State to be able to get this crowd into the game and be able to really get after Clemson, the battle in the trenches with Florida State's defensive line, where there appears to be a clear advantage. Can they get after Tajh Boyd? Can they affect his rhythm and timing with his receivers? Can they stop the running game of Andre Ellington? That'll be the matchup to watch. The Florida State defensive line against that offensive line from Clemson. Then we can talk about the skill after we watch that battle.
Are you surprised the Noles are a strong 2-touchdown favorite?
A little bit. I think we're going to see a lot of speed on this field tonight.
Florida State, ranked number 4. Osceola on Renegade. Game time in Tallahassee. Let's go to Heather Cox with Jimbo Fisher.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, the talk all week has been on high expectations and the memories of what happened a year ago in very similar situation against Oklahoma. What have you and your team learned that you can use tonight?
Well, I think we'll lose that experience, but I think the main thing is that it's about the game. Nothing matters but about the game. Eliminate the clutter, trust how you're being coached, trust your fundamentals, and turn it loose. And
Coach, what challenges does Clemson high-octane offense present to your highly touted defense?
Well, I think the great athletes they have, the multitude of formations, and they can run and throw the football, and they're going to move it around. They're going to make some plays. We just have to make more plays.
Coach, thanks. We're looking forward to a great game. Brent?
All right, Heather, and Jimbo's defense will be on the field to start this game. So the Clemson high-powered offense will handle it. Dustin Hopkins with the ball on the tee will kick it away from the Noles. And yes, Sammy Watkins is one of the deep backs. He'll take it. And a knee. And Herbie, let's take a look at tonight's impact players for Clemson, brought to you by Avis.
Well, they have a lot of them. Tajh Boyd is the trigger man, 2nd year, as we said, so he has a better understanding, making quicker decisions. He'll have to run the ball tonight. Andre Ellington gives him power in the middle. Sammy Watkins, you'll see him on the jet sweep, a lot of perimeter running and catching the ball. And DeAndre Hopkins, number 6, vitally important to take some of the pressure off of Boyd and off of Watkins. He's got to make plays against Xavier Rhodes for Florida State.
Folks expect a lot of motion, a lot of seeing Watkins change positions, a lot of slot formations on the part of Clemson. Chad Morris will change it up all night long. Play action on the first play of the game. And a completion out of the backfield. Sam Cooper, the backup tight end. Now remember, Dwayne Allen was a star for Clemson a year ago. He's now playing with the Indianapolis Colts. And Sam Cooper and Brandon Ford will be the tight ends. A different looking formation now on 2nd and 3. There's the jet sweep. Tajh keeps it, picks up the first down.
The different looks that you see from Chad Morris creates hesitation. The motions, the tight ends moving around. That time you saw Sammy Watkins in motion. The linebackers, it creates hesitation, and then you got to deal with a power running game from Ellington like that. They really put a lot of stress on the linebackers and safeties of defenses.
Now they move a wide receiver to the backfield. And they use the end around, reverse motion with Ellington. He crosses the 40-yard line. Here they are, keeping Mark Stoops off balance, Herbie, just as you said, with a variety of formations.
It's the formations, it's the personnel groupings. Ellington is checking out of the game. They've got 5 receivers now in the game. It's a lot of different looks, a lot of window dressing. It's slowing down the fast Florida State defense by making them have to think.
They stack 3 wide to the left, but Tajh throws underneath to Hopkins, and the Noles were ready. They jumped that beautifully, and Xavier Rhodes, a fine corner, makes the stop.
Interesting that Clemson won the toss and elected to receive the ball, and now you can see why. This up-tempo offense, what they're trying to do is take away the aggression from Florida State and get them on their heels with the tempo.
3rd down and 7, the pistol look that they studied at Nevada. Deep down the middle. Goes for the home run. Hopkins has got it. Touchdown, Clemson. A 60-yard bomb. Dabo Swinney says, give us the football, and it pays off, Herbie.
Well, we just talked very fast about a lot of things that can happen to you. We're trying to keep up here, Brent.
You know, we talk a lot about Sammy Watkins, but I'm telling you, Herbie,
Brent,
number 6 is lethal.
I am with you, and it's back here in the back end. The safety actually hesitated. And again, if you don't have your eyes disciplined on your reads, this time Terrence Brooks, the safety, actually got caught up in looking in the backfield and looking at the other receiver. I don't know if he's anticipating help, but he was slow to react to Hopkins getting behind him. And do not underestimate the arm strength of Tajh Boyd. He puts it right behind Terrence Brooks, who gives up the touchdown there.
So now 11 men on the field for the Tigers. Chandler, Catanzaro tacks on the extra point. If you just joined us, we're underway, and we expect a lot of this tonight. Speed kills.
And now it'll be Deion Sanders. Finds an alley. It's going to be a touchdown, Florida State. An electrifying 76-yard run. High, it's a fake. It's Leroy Butler. What a gutsy call Bobby Bowden. Unbelievable.
Coach Brent, you called that game one of the most memorable in this great rivalry, and I can remember that game as a fan watching it on my couch like it was yesterday.
These two teams, they can wage some great football.
Oh, no doubt.
It'll be the Noles' turn coming out. And coming out is Joyner, LaMarcus Joyner, looking for a crease. There's a penalty. A penalty flag is thrown. Joyner got out to the 35. There may have been an illegal block, so hang on.
Be interesting to see how E.J. Manuel and the Noles respond to what Clemson just did. I mean, 5 plays, he went right down the field, put points up on the board. Manuel's a veteran guy, 6'5", 240 pounds, has a big arm. He needs to take that next step in his maturation, and he needs to be able to lead the Noles to a victory.
They're going to open with 3 wide tonight, and the 1 running back. Lonnie Pryor is not on the field for the first play. That's O'Leary, the tight end, looking like an H-back, and Manuel's going to put it up on first down. Complete for a big first down. Rodney Smith. And Rodney Smith has now caught a ball in 29 consecutive games. That for 19 yards.
This is a simple read for E.J. Manuel, getting the ball out of his hands fast. And this Clemson defense, with a new defensive coordinator, Brent Venables, over from Oklahoma, they've not gotten off to a fast start in 2012. I think their confidence is a bit rattled. We'll see how they play here early in this game.
Now Pryor checks in on this first down. He'll lead the way for Chris Thompson. Watch the fullback. He'll take you to the action. And Thompson to the 40. Herbie, here are the impact players sponsored by Avis for the Noles.
Talked about Manuel, great leader, ready to take that next step. This is a big opportunity for him. Chris Thompson, a huge game last week with 197 yards against Wake Forest. Great acceleration. Rashawn Green is on the outside. He's your game breaker. And, of course, Warner has got to do a good job of getting pressure on Tajh Boyd.
On second down, play action. Manuel drops it off to O'Leary for the first down. 45-yard line, and it's first down the Noles.
This is a great call. This is the challenge for Clemson tonight. Florida State wants to run the ball with Jimbo Fisher. And so you're thinking about the running the football, and all of a sudden you've got play action. You got a lot of movement by this defense over here. Makes it easy for the fullback just to slide out and just dump it right over top of the defense. It's a balanced attack this year from Jimbo Fisher. They can run the ball. They got a big offensive line, great backs, but you got to be careful of overcommitting because they can hit you on play action.
Now 2 backs in. Pryor again. This is his first carry. Into the 40-yard line, and Travis Blanks making the stop for the Tigers. The big question about the Tigers will be the defense up front. Brent Venables, their new coordinator. Remember, he coordinated Oklahoma's big win in here a year ago, but he's working with very young personnel. And right now we see the Noles, they're gouging them.
Their own version of the hurry up, where they're not necessarily huddling, but they're not necessarily in that up tempo style.
Manuel, and he is a fine runner. He'll show some option too before the night's over. Here he is coming around behind Thompson, keeping it all the way. 30, 25, 20, 15, and out of bounds, far side. He is so dangerous on the move.
Well, 6'5", 240 pounds, and as you just said, Brent, prior to this play, he is a dangerous threat. Watch the seal block on the outside. O'Leary, who just made a nice catch. Now he's blocking. Thompson's out front. He's helping out. Also, Rodney Smith doing a good job. And when you get receivers blocking downfield, it helps out. Love to see Chris Thompson getting involved, not just running the football, but being willing to block there for his quarterback. That's a big gain for this Noles offense.
28 yards. Total. Now there's 3 wide. Rashad Green, and the receivers for the Noles have got size. Tigers showed a little bit of pressure. The safety was pressing in the box. They're going to try to blitz the run, and it's Pryor again. Touchdown, Florida State. The senior from Okeechobee, Florida, who is all football player, bangs it in from the 13. They have talked about Oregon and Arizona scoring into the early morning. Hang on, everybody. We may outscore that game. Dustin Hopkins, underwent knee surgery in the spring. Fine now, nails it. We are deadlocked at 7 as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championships. Hopkins fielded by Watkins as he comes up, and he's out to the 22. That's Brandon Ford with the H-back. Ellington is the running back, and Tajh Boyd pulls it out. Look for the quick screen. Threw it back to the speed man, and Ellington on the far side. Ellington across the 30-yard line before he's pushed out by Joyner. A beautiful look by Tajh Boyd that time.
Brent, this is not a screen. The entire offensive line, watch the line, how they just wait. See them just sitting there? It almost looks like, oh, what's the snap count? They're just deking the defense, and then eventually they get him out of position, and when you give Ellington just a little crease, he can go a long way.
First down and 10, the ball at the 25-yard line after Watkins' first catch of the year. Play action, Tajh Boyd on the move. Remember, he's 15 pounds lighter this year. When he's on the move, a step quicker, McAllister brought him down.
Well, that's the difference right now with Tajh Boyd, is he's not forcing the throws. Last year, he might have forced this. This year, he is more elusive, but he's also just more mature. He's more disciplined with the football. He understands, hey, listen, I'll get us to 2nd 8 or 2nd 9 instead of trying to throw into coverage and not have a chance to make a play.
Watkins in motion. Swings around on the jet sweep, but he's short of the first down.
Little touch pass there from Tajh Boyd. The jet sweep makes the defense have to really respect the outside, the perimeter game. The quick passes, the jet sweeps, and when you get too concerned about that, you get the power running from Ellington and the play action deep ball. There's a lot to deal with and digest for this Florida State defense.
Watkins is now toward the bottom of your screen in this formation. They continue to move him around. Tajh keep all the way. He's short of that first down. Decision time for Clemson. 4th down coming up. Do they try to tack the field goal? But knowing it's a high-scoring game and they've got just that for the first down, let's see what Dabo decides.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate. Bringing the kicker out. Great play, by the way, that time by 97 McAllister to get off his block and get into the face that time of Tajh Boyd.
So now the defense over on that Clemson side knows it's got to buckle up. At the very best, they'll have a 3-point advantage after this 33-yard attempt. It's a fake. They quickly set up the fake, got the first down. Whoa, now, where have we seen a fake kick in this series?
This spot will be interesting. It looks like the first down. It is, yeah.
So here we come.
Hey, Florida State
Dabo had that in his hip pocket. He didn't,
and he didn't hesitate on purpose.
And that's
he was like, get him out, and that's usually a sign. Yeah,
absolutely.
And Florida State was ready for it. Carradine made a good effort there. You see the safety. I mean, they were expecting it. Brooks 31's ready.
It's close.
Really is.
It's real close.
Might take another peek at this just because it's such a big play. This is even a better angle.
They shovel it in on the inside on that fake to Darrell Smith. Darrell Smith is one of the Tigers' fullbacks. He's a junior out of Gadsden, Alabama. So here he comes, straight up the middle. A burst coming toward the 5-yard line on 1st and 10. Remember, the first time he touched the ball as a running back last week, he went 58 yards for a touchdown.
Didn't you find it interesting? Chad Morris said, you know, we studied Oklahoma State this offseason and looked at how did they use Justin Blackman. Chad Morris felt it with Sammy Watkins. We want to move him around. A receiver, he's in motion, he's in the backfield. Different ways to be able to take advantage of his skill set.
Coming back with him. And this is Ellington reaching for the touchdown. Got it. 2 touchdowns for the Tigers.
Well, the matchup we wanted to see about this Clemson offensive line against Florida State's defensive line, because of the way Tajh Boyd is helping this team out with the balanced attack and the effort there by Ellington. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for the Clemson offense.
And you have to say, folks, on those last 2 runs, that inexperienced offensive line is holding up for Coach Sweeney. And the Tigers now lead at 14-7. So Andre Ellington leads the ACC in rushing, averaging better than 100 yards a game. And after Watkins ran it for the first play, Ellington took it to the house. The Noles turn. Fielded at the goal line by Joyner. And Joyner is short of the 20-yard line. First down now for EJ. He sends everybody out. Offensive line does a good job, and he comes back with O'Leary. Working underneath. So he's got something going with Nick O'Leary here tonight.
He does, and I think they're being able to try to get after the linebackers, between the linebackers and the safeties, when Clemson is sitting back in zone. What I've been a little bit surprised at, now Florida State's a balanced team. They want to run the ball. It's Jimbo Fisher. I mean, think about Nick Saban's mentality. They want to run the ball first, make you commit to stop the run, and then they want to throw the ball. Tonight, they've been a little bit more shotgun, looking for matchups to be able to throw the ball.
They're going to run Thompson. Quick cutback, look out! He's got great speed. And he's finally taken out of bounds by Jonathan Meeks. He was the last man who could have stopped him.
Brett, watch this stutter step. I'm not comparing him to Reggie Bush, but the way he accelerates with his jump cuts, like a LaMichael James type of guy. Boom, 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 right there. I mean, you don't see most backs with the ability to bounce like that and then accelerate in the middle of the process of the cut.
He went for 74 and 80-yard touchdowns last week. So that's it. The first period comes to an end. It was an entertaining one. This presentation of Saturday Night Football, presented by Windows, will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. So here we go. First down. They need 15, remember, after that penalty. Ride Thompson, E.J. back, come middle, O'Leary. O'Leary to the 5-yard line. That'll bring a smile to the Golden Bear.
Look at the action in the backfield here, Brent. They see the guard, Matthias, pulling. You see the back. There's a lot of action in the background. So the linebackers see this movement. They step up. Nice job of waiting to find the window. He had to get the ball thrown over top of Willard, who didn't quite commit to the play-action fake. But a lot of movement in front of the linebackers froze them long enough to hit that play.
And James Wilder, the big back, is behind Pryor. Pryor leads the way. Wilder steps to the right. Wilder, touchdown. James Wilder. If you follow number 24, folks, he'll take you to the action for the Noles. What a dandy fullback.
And what's great about Pryor's blocking, he's a former running back. He's a selfless guy, and you're right. He's a guy typically is going to lead you to where the ball is, and I love to see Wilder get in there. A lot of depth in the backfield. Thompson, Freeman, this time Wilder, and a good job up front by the line getting a good push.
Now it's Dustin Hopkins for the tie. Chris Revel will put it down. He is the holder from right here in Tallahassee. Nails it. Deadlocked. Great push. Even O'Leary contributed a seal block. We're deadlocked. Dustin Hopkins with the ball on the tee. Watkins standing back on the Tigers 4. Watkins. And he's really dangerous if he gets a seam. Not this time. Great coverage. Wow. 4 interceptions. 2 on the other side.
Last year he got away with those throws where Junior Hemingway made the plays. Sounds like it's not going that way tonight.
Tajh Boyd, remember, Clemson punted after their last offensive surge failed. They've come back with a power running game behind the middle of that line. Freeman, Beasley, Shatley.
I'd love to get the pulse right now on Tajh Boyd. I've been so impressed with his leadership skills tonight. Remember, second year running this offense. Mark Stoops making adjustments, doing everything he can to slow Boyd down.
Second down and 7. And Hopkins, who caught the first touchdown pass of the game.
It's a timing route, gets the ball out of his hands. Just any way they can try to get Hopkins matched up one-on-one. They want to try to take advantage of it. See the jam there by Rhodes. He gets off of it, which is impressive. Rhodes is a big corner, 6'2", about 215 pounds.
First down and 10. Tajh stands tall, goes sideline, and it is complete. And that's Hopkins again. Short of the first down.
Darby, the true freshman from the Maryland area, who they think can be a big-time corner, is just a young player. As the season goes on, he gets more experience. They think he can be a big factor for this defense, but he's matched up that time with Hopkins.
Mark Stoops goes to a little run support defense now. Second down and 2. Ellington, the defense holds. Stuffed him. So Stoops makes the correct guesstimate on the sideline that Clemson was going to come with a run in that situation, and they did.
He's gambling here a bit because he's got some young personnel that he believes in. And Chad Morris, I'm sure eventually is going to see if he can get the young freshman who's talented in Darby matched up one-on-one for a potential double move and a deep ball. They're eventually going to go that way and try to take advantage of that.
Here we are tied at 14. First down and 10. Tajh Boyd keeps it himself. Got a couple of yards, and there's a player who is down. That's Warner with the helmet coming off. He's got to come out for a play, remember, unless there was somebody who illegally yanked it off. So Warner will come to the sideline.
He actually made the play there. A big lineman came down on top of him after he stuffed that play at the line of scrimmage, but it was not illegal.
He's a wonderful story, too. from Germany. There's a deep ball overthrew. Watkins and the quarterback not on the same page that time, and it'll be 3rd down.
And that's something that Sammy Watkins, back for just his 2nd game, still kind of working some of the kinks out, being back and being a part of the offense. You can see he kind of shrugged his shoulders and looked back at Tajh Boyd. But in that case, Tajh may have just been throwing that ball away just because he didn't have anybody open.
So it is 3rd and 10. Boyd in trouble, scrambles out of it on the move, and he had to throw that one away. So twice in a row now, Clemson forced to punt after scoring touchdowns on their first 2 possessions.
I'll give Mark Stoops a lot of credit here with these adjustments. This is a coverage sack confusion. They brought a zone pressure. They're sitting back conservative with their zone look, but they've got everybody checked down. There's nowhere to go with the football. And up front, I think the offensive line that time did the best they could to hold up, but eventually Boyd had to bail because of the coverage by Stoops' group.
Rashad Green back deep again. Benton is your punter. Noles set a return. Fair catch is the signal. Dropped it. Clemson, I believe, jumped on it. We'll sort it all out when we take another look, but I believe he put it on the ground after signaling for the fair catch. And there's our first turnover.
There was a lot of activity going on in front of him. And I think enough of a distraction where he wasn't able to focus on the ball. You can see down by his legs, but that is not illegal. He lost his focus because of everything that was happening in front of him. And Green simply dropped the ball after calling the fair catch.
Herbie, the snapper, recovered it. That was Philip Fagenbaum, a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, who got down. Remember, it is legal, unlike the NFL where you've got the 2 gunners. Everybody can come downfield. And frequently in college football, your center can be lethal on punt cover. So now Tajh Boyd on 1st down, in trouble, tries to slip back the other way, breaks the tackle. Here he comes to the left. Wow, did he make the most out of that? What a great job by the quarterback.
235 pounds a year ago, about 218 pounds this year. The weight that he lost definitely has allowed him to be more elusive, and instead of being sacked for a 5-yard loss, he picks up 4 or 5 yards. Great play.
Ready to go again. Watkins is to his left. Ellington runs in that direction. Ellington trying to reach for the 1st down. Let's see where they spot that ball here on the near side. Remember, that was just a 2nd down.
But to bounce that to the outside against this Florida State speed, you cannot allow penetration in through the interior of the offensive line. Clemson holding up very well with their guards, their 2 guards and their center, giving Ellington and the lead blocker enough room to get around to the outside.
Here comes Watkins on the jet sweep. Tajh keeps it for the 1st down. So the jet sweep, just as you said earlier in the broadcast, that freezes your linebackers just a touch in case they're going to sweep with it.
Well, you have to respect a guy like Sammy Watkins going in motion on that jet sweep, because what if they hand it off to him? So you instinctively react and start to move to the defense's left, and now you got a quarterback who's a threat running. So between Boyd running and Ellington running in the middle, it's quite a tandem to deal with.
Ball at the Noles 17. Tajh Boyd fires complete. Touchdown, Brandon Ford, the graduate student from Wando, South Carolina, who has replaced the John Mackey Award winner with a 17-yard scoring strike from Tajh Boyd.
I think there's confusion on that play in the secondary for Florida State. It was a wheel route, a lot of attention being paid to Sammy Watkins, not as much being paid to Brandon Ford. You could see the frustration after the play there. By that time, Rhodes.
Spencer Benton, the holder. Cannonzaro tacks it up. So our first turnover. Remember, Green coughed up a fair catch on a punt, and Clemson strikes for the go-ahead touchdown. Yeah, till the sun comes up. So here we go. Clemson leading 21-14. At the goal line, here comes LaMarcus Joyner again. Joyner swings to the outside. Fine return. Out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. 3rd down and 4 here, Robert. Manuel drops it off to Thompson. Got the first down for the Noles and out of bounds. Well, we got lots of time now. 1:27 with this explosive offense.
They rushed 2 and dropped 9 into coverage. Actually dropped Goodman, the defensive end, thinking that if 9 people are in coverage, he's not going to be able to find anybody, but he got the ball quickly out to Thompson. Once Thompson caught it with his speed, easy first down.
Manuel back in the gun. Goes over to the far side. Incomplete. Too high for Dent. Greg Dent. Incomplete. Well, the halftime report. Northwestern Mutual coming up next. And Jesse Palmer will be along. He'll be talking about, he's got to be proud of those Gators the way they're playing.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, I think that from the game at Texas A&M to right now, they start to become a big factor in the SEC East. Trey Jackson lost his helmet to right guard, had to come out for this play.
Manuel back into the pocket, swings it on out to Thompson. They got a lot of running room. 35, tightrope, and finally out of bounds. But he's at the 23-yard line where he finally was pushed out.
Perfect time to call this by Jimbo Fisher. They brought the linebackers. Manuel waited. He baited them and waited, and then dumps it down to Thompson, who has 3 blockers downfield, and he gets huge yards, gets him well into field goal range here with 1:14.
He was very close on that sideline. I thought he might have been out of bounds before that. We'll see if instant replay stops it. They have not. Remember, they're taking a look at everything upstairs, and they're not going to stop it. 1st down and 10. Manuel dumps off over the middle. Here comes Green, and he is down at the 15-yard line, and that's blanks.
They're trying to mix up their coverages right now. That time there's man coverage underneath, and the speed of Green able to pull away there.
Here's where burning all 3 timeouts hurts now as they come down. Stays in bounds.
Got to get out of bounds.
Wilder.
It's important for Manuel.
Is down in the field. The clock continuing to run now.
Important for players to remind each other that you're out of timeouts. This is where E.J. Manuel needs to be talking to his backs and his receivers and reminding them no timeouts and about the clock. You got to be proactive.
Less than half a minute here. If you get the first down, they might be able to stop it in time. There's the fade end zone. Jump ball incomplete. And that was Kelvin Benjamin, the intended target, with 4 seconds left. Now they quickly get Hopkins out on the field. So he did have enough time by throwing that ball into the end zone. Either going to be 6 or incomplete, and now your field goal team quickly is out.
Take a shot there, just put it up in the air. 6'5", going up against a much smaller corner at 5'10".
Missed a 44-yarder. This one a 37-yarder. Dustin Hopkins, the senior from Houston. Revel will put it down. Pulls it to the left. No good. He's 0 for 2. But E.J. Manuel and the Noles will get the ball to start the second half because, remember, Clemson took it. And let's check in with Heather Cox down below. Heather.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, with an atmosphere like this, how did the first 2 series and the first 2 touchdowns really set the tone for this team early?
Well, we talked about throwing the first punches, and I felt like we'd get the ball whether we received it and took it or they got it and played defense. So really proud of the start. Hey, we're battling on defense. You know, it's just 2 good football teams going at it. And, you know, right now they've made a couple more mistakes. We missed a big opportunity for a touchdown. They've missed a couple opportunities. So, hey, we got a touchdown lead going in, and it really just makes it a tie ball game because when you come in this environment, they got 7 on the board when you show up.
Now, E.J. Manuel and Florida State have had success running stretch plays to the outside. Do you make any adjustments against that in the second half? If
we don't, they're going to keep running them. You know, they're cutting us down. They're doing a good job getting to our backer. He's been chopped down a couple times when we've had our 5 and 4 technique inside. So we got to get it cleaned up. hey, we've had a couple of good stops, but it's going to be a big game of adjustments in the second half.
I'll let you get to it. Thanks, Coach. Brent?
Thanks, Heather, as we send it to the studio. John Anderson and Jesse Palmer for the Northwestern Mutual Halftime Report. Take it away, John. It's the ACC on ESPN, the second half of a dandy. Clemson leading Florida 21-14. With Kirk Herbstreit, Heather Cox, I'm Brent Musburger. Should be a dandy of a second half here. Herbie, what's your feeling?
This is really what it's all about. I mean, Clemson and Florida State both have ACC championship aspirations. Both are trying to get to a BCS bowl game, maybe a national championship, get a second half. Coaches just made adjustments. Both defensive coordinators trying to figure out a way to slow these offenses down. It's going to be fun to see the chess match play out here in the second half.
And, of course, the first series of the game belongs to the Noles. That's down right. 7. That could be big.
It could be. I think E.J. Manuel, much the same way that Tajh Boyd took the ball in the first half, went right down in 5 plays and put a touchdown up on the board. I think you're going to try to see Manuel start off with that same hot hand here.
So away we go. And it's fielded at the 4-yard line. Big hole to the 30-yard line. Kevin Haplia, a tight end, wearing number 33. He transferred from Penn State. He checks in the Noles. And EJ keeps it on the play fake. And incomplete. Rodney Smith was the intended target. And it's incomplete. And it will be 2nd down and 10. As you know, players like Haplia were afforded the opportunity. They became free agents. Now, Florida State did not go up to Penn State looking for him. They had recruited him out of high school. And when he called and inquired, they had the last scholarship available. And they brought down the young man from New Jersey, and he's one of Coach Fisher's tight ends.
It's one of the adjustments that Jimbo Fisher has made. The 2 tight end set back-to-back plays now. They've been playing a lot of 3 receiver. Now they're coming out here in the first half playing with 2 tight ends.
2nd down and 10. They run the toss play. Here comes Thompson, and he's forced out of bounds at the 31 as we check in down below with Heather Cox.
Well, Brent, remember, this Florida State defense gave up just 3 points in 3 games total before tonight. Obviously, different level of competition, but Jimbo Fisher was quick to talk about defensive adjustments. He said we've got to do a much better job being disciplined in our passing lanes. We've got to have better leverage on the ball, and we must settle down our pass rush. They also want more poise on special teams. And, guys, just an injury note, defensive end Bjorn Warner, who hurt his left hand at the end of the first half, is good to return. A good thing considering he leads the nation in sacks for the Seminoles.
3rd down and 8 coming up for the Noles right now. Pocket holds, fires, incomplete. Just a touch high for Shaw, and he couldn't pull it down.
It's one of the few throws that we've seen E.J. Manuel miss. Again, 3rd down. What's he seeing? He's seeing man coverage. A lot of crossing routes. This time it's 3rd and long. They're deeper crossing routes that take longer to develop. The line did their job in giving him time. He just threw that ball. It sailed on him a bit, and it's a little bit high.
Brent Venables working with Anthony and Willard, 2 of his linebackers as they came off the field. Now Sammy Watkins is back to attempt another return here of a punt. They'll let this one bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. No false starts, very impressive. Hand is to Watkins. Watkins follows his blocker. Picks up about 4 yards on it. Christian Jones, number 7, making the stop for the Noles.
And this package, I think, has done a lot to be able to slow down the Florida State defensive line. Again, if you're just joining us, a lot of formations, a lot of different activity going on by the Clemson offense that's making this Florida State defense slow down and have to recognize it.
They're going to run Watkins again and try to sweep him to the outside, and he's short of the 1st down. Very good defense by Terrence Brooks to push the speedy one out of bounds before he got to the 1st down marker.
Brooks recognized that. He was fortunate enough to be able to take the right angle. If he would have been just a step behind, or his aiming point just a step behind, that's a 1st down.
Jerron Brown, one of the receivers. 3rd down and 2. Boyd can hurt you in short yardage runs sometimes. He keeps it himself. He picks up the first down as he comes across the 45-yard line.
There's that motion again that you have to pay attention to. It freezes you enough. We've seen this tonight, what, maybe 3 or 4 times? And this time I know it's not the same speed. You see Humphreys going in motion, but it distracts you. It makes your eyes have to respect it. And Boyd now runs the football again.
5 wide. Screen to Watkins. Jammed at the point of attack. The Noles jumped all over that one. Tyler Hunter was one of them there. Vince Williams. Second down and long now for Tajh Boyd.
Boyd in this Clemson offense not quite going at the same tempo that Dabo saw in the first half.
Ellington is the running back right behind Boyd. Slip screen and a double pass. Watkins got a man wide open. Ellington in a foot race. 20 cuts. Touchdown Clemson. Sammy Watkins, a 52-yard pass to the running back Andre Ellington. What a call by Chad Morris.
Look, I mean, they're going to take some shots. You know that coming in. I mean, we heard that all week from Florida State. You know that there's going to be some shots downfield. Sammy Watkins missed the first throw where he had a receiver downfield in Humphreys. They go back to him in a different look this way, and this time Sammy puts it right on the money to the back Ellington.
Catanzaro adds the extra point. This crowd will grow in even quieter. And now, folks, the heat's on number 3. E.J. Manuel has got to start coming up to answer what the Tigers have done here early in the second half. What a scene on the sideline. The head coach, the star, the quarterback, Watkins threw it. And Clemson leading Florida State 28-14 as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championships. Ellington tonight has 2 catches of 39 52 yards and that touchdown. So now the Noles will take a knee and bring it out on the 20-yard line.
What a call by Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. Man coverage on the outside. The running back is actually manned up with the linebacker. He's right in the middle, Christian Jones. Watch Christian Jones' eyes. They lock in on Sammy Watkins. And while he's looking at Sammy Watkins, Ellington sneaks out of the backfield. And there's Jones trying to catch up with him, number 7. Man-to-man coverage. He had him. He lost him because he thought that Sammy Watkins might be running, and Ellington slips out. By the time he realized that Ellington was 15 yards behind him, and Watkins makes a great throw. Look at Dabo. He's fired up.
First down and 10 now for Manuel. Down by 2 touchdowns now. Jet sweep around. And Benjamin cuts to a hole. Benjamin breaks free. The youngster racing for the end zone. Down by the 10-yard line. Willard saves a touchdown on the young man from Belle Glade, Florida. 64 yards for Kelvin Benjamin.
Watch Cameron Irving get downfield. The left tackle blocking to be able to spring him loose. The receivers also really good job of blocking by Green. And then there's speed. Look at this guy. He's 6'5", 242 pounds, running down the sidelines, and eventually Clemson barely catches up to him.
So this becomes a 1st and 25 with the ball brought back to the 26-yard line. They were at the 11. Manuel keeps it. Let me check that. It was Robinson who came over to make that stop.
Brent, when he turned around off of this bootleg, he wasn't even thinking about, I'm going to throw it out in the flat, possibly try to find the fullback. This is a design run. Turn the corner, the defense is committed down, and he shows you that speed in the open field.
I got the ball back to the 9-yard line, and that's important because it becomes 2nd down and 8. Option, pitch, Thompson, end zone, got 7 right back if they add the extra point.
Well, there is nothing prettier than the option play executed the right way. He attacks the defensive end. He makes the defensive end commit to him. Make sure he can't make the tackle on the back. He locks in on Manuel. Manuel flips it out there, and of course there's Lonnie Pryor leading the way with another block and a touchdown. The Noles that time able to overcome those penalties, and they get the touchdown. A big one there after that play by Watkins to Ellington.
Now Dustin Hopkins, the senior kicker, makes this a 7-point game. A dandy continues here in Tallahassee. So we welcome you back to the big scene in Tallahassee. 10 minutes remaining, and it's 28-21. Two fine teams trading blows here in the ACC tonight. Watkins, one of the deep return men for the Tigers. High. Watkins at the 10-yard line. 15, bursts through a hole. Still going, and he's down at the 35-yard line.
Keep an eye on the right side of the line.
Boyd going to take off. Going to run for the first down. And he is brought down at about the 46-yard line. Christian Jones.
What an amazing job here on third down. Right away, sees an alley, picks it up, steps into it, and there is the difference in Tajh Boyd. We mentioned that he dropped the weight, picks up big yards there for a first down.
Back in the pistol. Brings the receiver into the backfield. Runs the option. Pitches it to the outside, and Ellington run out of bounds, and Carradine is over there defending that. I'm going to tell you, number 91, senior from Cincinnati. Herbie, he is a very active defensive end. They lost Brandon Jenkins, but he has stepped into that role, and he's been spectacular.
At a Cincinnati Taft High School and went the junior college route to eventually end up here in Tallahassee. Been very valuable with, of course, the loss of Brandon Jenkins.
Now on a second down, they sweep around. Ellington dives for the first down. You know, one of the things I'm noticing about the Clemson player, very aware of what they have to do to get the first down.
They're really dialed in. I think there's a really, not just with Tajh Boyd, there's an understanding of not just the scheme and what they're trying to do, but what the defense is trying to do. As you said, the down and the distance as well.
Florida State was attempting to substitute defensive players. They could not get on the field. That's one of the problems when you play up-tempo offenses like Clemson. There's a reverse to Ellington. He's to the 34. So Chad Morris continues to dial up offbeat plays, continues to come with something he hopes the defense is not looking for.
The different formations, attacking the perimeter, getting the ball to the outside with the speed, the motions, and faking it to the outside and running up the middle with Boyd and Ellington. And then after that, then we're going to fake it up the middle, fake it outside, and sneak somebody behind you for a deep pass.
Now they move Watkins out of the backfield. Tajh Boyd backs up, wants to go downfield. Safety valve with Watkins. Incomplete, and it's suddenly third down and long.
Great coverage that time by Nick Waysome downfield. We just talked about all the motions and the different looks, and then they'll sneak somebody downfield. Martavius Bryant was going down the right sideline, and Tajh Boyd wanted to go to him. Good coverage by Waysome, forced him to come off of the deep throw, and he had to try to get it underneath, but he didn't have his feet set.
DeAndre Hopkins has been quiet lately. Back in the pistol now is Boyd. Straight back. Trips, keeps his balance. Now slides. Now runs a defender. And not going to get the first down. But he saved a loss on that play before Jones wrestles him down. Warner's over there now taking himself out of the game.
Surprised that they don't have a tight end here to help with this right tackle, Timothy. Now, he holds up pretty well, but eventually you're going to see Warner fight through there and force Boyd, who does a good job of keeping the play alive, to have to bail out of there. The right side of that line, again, on third down is something you got to try to take care of and protect.
Now they're setting up for a 50-yard field goal here. And again, they get a man late on the field, one of the wingmen. They've already faked one field goal here tonight. Catanzaro coming at you. Got it long enough. Got it up, and it was good. Dabo Swinney celebrating that long field goal by his junior from Greenville, Chandler Catanzaro. (31-21). The lead is 10. So here we go now. Spencer Benton will kick this off, and it'll be fielded at the 1 by Joyner. He's been the kickoff return man. He's got an alley coming to the near side. 35, 40, breaks it. He's got one man to beat. Can he split him? And he's wrestled down at the 11-yard line. Joyner with an 89-yard kickoff return.
What an effort here, and a perfect time for a big return. The fullback who's in there, Chad Abrams, does a good job, but really, this is just Joyner being an athlete out in space. These are all the years he played backyard football. He gets a nice job of setting up the kicker, and then down the sideline, I thought he might have the speed to take it all the way into the end zone, but Clemson finally catches up to him.
Xavier Brewer, one of their safeties, number 9, was back deep, and now Manuel at the 11-yard line with he picks up about a yard on that, and it's going to be 2nd down and goal. Anthony coming up to make the stop.
Tried that option the last time they had the football, and it was a touchdown. They tried to go back to it here into the boundary to the left side. That time Clemson, one too many defenders over there, easily able to sniff it out.
Smith, Rashad Green, 2 of the wideouts for the Noles. Thompson, the running back. Play action. Throws high. Touchdown! The Noles strike. Rashad Green, who fumbled a punt early in this game, comes back with a touchdown of his own.
We've been seeing Clemson with all the activity in the backfield, disguising things, trying to manipulate the eyes of the defense. Well, this time it's E.J. Manuel with some movement in his backfield to catch the Clemson defense's attention, and Green is all by himself in the end zone.
Now Dustin Hopkins. The lead is 3. 59 points on the board already. Rashad Green, a sophomore from Albany, Georgia, and a top-flight recruit. 6:15 left in the 3rd quarter. An ACC showdown living up to its advanced billing. One of the more entertaining games of this season so far, and it's not over yet. So is it Sammy Watkins' turn? Not this time. This one will come out with 25. 1st down and 10. After that timeout, Morris thought the better of it. Came with Tajh Boyd, and he's going to have to chuck this one away and out of bounds because they were closing in on him right there. That was Dawkins pursuing him.
The leaders tonight for Clemson, Tajh Boyd, who's been in command for the most part for this offense. Andre Ellington, a couple receptions on the night, and also doing a good job of giving him that physicality in the running game up the middle to keep that Florida State defense honest and respecting that part of this offense.
Rhodes is taking Hopkins one-on-one at the top of your screen. Press coverage, so Boyd comes down to the bottom to the 26-yard line, and Tyler Hunter making the play defensively. And now Mark Stoops' defense is starting to take things away.
That time, Tyler Hunter out in space. That's a big thing when you defend Clemson. Can you make a play in space? Hunter's nickel back that time does a good job of securing that tackle. Now the crowd, for the first time in a long time, becomes a factor on 3rd down.
Stoops at first on this 3rd down. Showed too deep with his safeties, and he backs him off again. Fires middle, incomplete. Watkins, the intended receiver, he thought he was interfered with. And this is Clemson's first 3 and out of the night.
Now Christian Jones has a tough ask here. He's 6'4", 232 pounds, running down the middle of the defense. He's got great size, and it's not pass interference there at all. He does a good job of trying to stay with them. But Sammy Watkins, if Boyd would have led him and put some air under that, he would have been able to probably run away from Jones.
Is the punter. Handles a low snap. Green gonna let this one bounce. And it'll come down about the 36-yard line. Well, James Wilder checks into that backfield for Florida State. Brian Stork, who's had 16 starts at center, snaps it to Manuel. Wilder releases. He's a good receiver. Underneath with the throw to the 31-yard line. Greg Dent working in that pattern.
Really good job up front. E.J. Manuel had all day to let this play develop, and right now Brent Venables is just sinking back. He did this a lot in the first half, keeping everything in front of him. They don't want to give up the big play, so Manuel sees that there's nobody open downfield, so he comes underneath to a shorter receiver, and Dent has the kind of speed to get upfield after the catch.
Now on 1st and 10 at the Clemson 31-yard line. Thompson to check back in. Cuts into the middle.
When you see a difference between Thompson, you have Pryor that gets his hands on the ball. Freeman from time to time will run it. We've seen Wilder tonight, who's more the power back. It's a good changeup, and now they go with a fastball here with Florida State. Here they come.
James Wilder still in. Long strike, far side, touchdown! Rodney Smith interfered with it all, and the Noles lead for the first time tonight.
Pass interference against the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
E.J. Manuel has been dinking and dunking all night. After a big penalty and a setback, Rodney Smith, 6'6", 219 pounds. What a throw by E.J. Manuel, right over his shoulder.
Dustin Hopkins. That was a good hold by Chris Revel. His best throw of the night, Herbie. I think we'd agree with that.
I'm with you, Brandon. He has matched up outside Rodney Smith against Darius Robinson, who's 5'10". But the ball is just perfectly thrown. He didn't even have to use his size advantage. He's in rhythm, puts the ball up, and you're just throwing it right up and over. It's like you practice that when you throw it into a bucket. Puts it right where it needs to be. And this big, tall receiver, he's separated right at the right time there to get that touchdown.
Coming out on the 25.
See, there's it again.
And Boyd runs out of trouble, sliding at the 31. As we saw Mark Stoops, one of these days, who knows, it might be at the end of the season, he's going to become a head coach like his two brothers. Bob Stoops, of course, at Oklahoma. Mike Stoops was the head coach at Arizona. He's back in an assistant with Bob at Oklahoma. But Mark Stoops' turn has come. He's going to put 4 linemen down on this switch on 3rd down now. 1st down. No, incomplete. Wave it off. Hopkins the target. Rhodes a fine corner.
Great coverage, and this is a matchup we all want to see. Rhodes against Hopkins. The ball's thrown actually behind Hopkins. He got to the inside. He beat his man. One of the few throws we've seen from Boyd behind the receiver. And anyway, Rhodes does a good job of just knocking that ball away once it's thrown behind.
That is 2 3-and-outs in a row right now. Rhodes goes over to the sideline. Rashad Green back deep to return this punt. Going to wave everybody away. And it'll come down across the 25-yard line before it rolls dead. This is a big defensive series for Clemson. Manuel has time, sideline wide open. One of the things that seems to be happening right now is that the offensive front for Florida State is starting to wear down that young defensive front of Clemson. Not a lot of experience here on Florida State with this offensive line, but the pocket has been kept clean for E.J. Manuel during this 3rd quarter when he led Florida State to its first lead of this game. Brian Stork, the ringleader. Jackson, Matthias, the guards. Irving Watson, the tackles. keeps it all the way. And forced out of bounds on the Clemson sideline.
People that are just maybe flipping over watching this game, everybody thought that Florida State's defense would be the strength of this team this year, and they could end up being that. But tonight they've been challenged by Sammy Watkins, Tajh Boyd and company. Jimbo Fisher's offense through 3 quarters, over 500 yards of offense. Pretty impressive start. We still have a whole quarter to go.
35-31, Florida State by 4. And this presentation of Saturday Night Football presented by Windows returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. E.J. Manuel has been more driven. A career high 333 yards for E.J. 23 of 31, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
It's 73 yards on the ground. Might be a good spot for him again to run the ball.
He's got a 3rd and 3 here. Instead, Thompson for the first down to the 45-yard line, and the Noles are starting to carve up that Tiger defense.
You know, whether it's been Green or Shaw or Thompson or Pryor, they've made a living in this area against this Clemson defense. They've done a really good job, especially on short yardage situations, of being able to find a matchup that they like in man coverage, or in that case, zone coverage, and just finding that bubble and putting the ball on the money.
And the Florida State coaches sense that they can go to power. James Wilder, bigger, stronger back, checks in behind Pryor. Pryor got him, bolts free, spins loose. Wilder crosses, battles, carries 3 with him. That, folks, is why he was one of the most highly recruited running backs in Florida in the last few years.
You just called for power. You said he's a power back. I think this pretty much tells the story. 1 tackle, 2, and now we're going to bring about 3 or 4 with us all the way down to about the 9-yard line. What an effort there by the young sophomore.
35 yards and some punishment. He's coming, and his teammates are going to congratulate him on his sideline. What a greeting he's getting.
Oh, put the helmet right on the ball, secured the football.
This is dish it out.
Doesn't go down.
Big boy football.
Little stiff arm. He did everything on 1 carry.
Just like Daddy used to do. James Wilder was a tough running back. On the far side, 1 man down, Corey Crawford. He's a starter. Buckle it up, young man. They're going to use you again.
We talked about how the D-line might be fatiguing here late. I think the linebackers also having a tough time, whether it's been the pass in coverage or getting off their blocks, and when the guards are coming up to them.
Lonnie Pryor, who can dish out some punishment. There's the fullback. There's O'Leary, the tight end. Here he comes again. Pryor leads the block, and Wilder jumps across the 5-yard line.
He's saying, my fault there.
It's not the sun they're concerned about. It's lip readers.
Well, what happens when we can hear him? We can't see him, but we can hear him.
Second down and goal. And Manuel is a load, too, if he keeps it. Wilder. He deserves the touchdown, and he gets it. James Wilder barges in. And Florida State has scored touchdowns on its last 4 possessions.
But watch the 2 guards, Matthias and Jackson, get up to these linebackers. Beautiful, beautiful execution.
What a job by the sophomore running back from Tampa. I mean, that's breaking their will the way he ran. Once down by 14. The Noles now in charge, and watch Pryor, number 24, lead the way. Seal it off. Not much of a hole, but Wilder does the rest. And Florida State has taken command 21 unanswered. They lead at 42-31. And Kansas State has upset Oklahoma. 24-19 your final. And we welcome those of you who are watching that. Here the Noles were once down by 2 touchdowns, but they've taken command in the second half. And they don't give Watkins a chance for a big play. Not as much motion. Here it comes finally. Watkins on the jet sweep. And ready for it was Warner from Berlin. This young man has an NFL future.
Keep in mind that Werner's taking on a blocker and then has to have the speed to get out there. The man on the outside there, this defense working as a group. Vince Williams, who went out with an injury, fought off a block and didn't allow Sammy Watkins to get around him, and then Warner came to the inside.
Boyd looking for a deep man, couldn't find him. Throws, intercepted, picked off. The 30, Watkins tries to rip it out. There's a penalty flag. Waysome, who's had a heck of a game. Nick Waysome from Groveland, Florida, makes the interception.
67 on the offense, downfield, penalties decline, first down.
It's the first time tonight that we've seen Tajh Boyd get impatient and force the football. This is reminiscent to the late in the year last year. Instead of just trying to take off and pick up some yards, that play didn't have a chance. And, you know, he's down late in the ball game. He's trying to make something happen. But if Waysome didn't come up with that interception, there's a pretty good chance that LaMarcus Joyner would have.
Chris Thompson is the running back. Pryor the fullback for E.J. Manuel. E.J. with a career night. 380 yards passing. Hands to Thompson. Daylight on the left side. 15. End zone ahead. The killer. The Noles are for real. 27 yards.
It's taking advantage of an opportunity and not wasting any time. Boyd throws the interception. Thompson shows you the kind of acceleration he has. And guess who? Lonnie Pryor with a huge kick-out block to open that running lane up for Chris Thompson.
They thought they'd remedy that. And now here tonight in a comeback game, Florida State has put 49 on it.
Waysome comes up with his huge interception. And this offense from Florida State really feeling that they had a chance to put it away. Watch Pryor's block 24, kicks out, takes his man away, and there's the speed and acceleration from Thompson. He's over 100 yards on the night.
A career night. 380 yards, 27 of 35, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions for the big fella. He has proven tonight why the coaches speak so highly of him. When people around the media sometimes take shots at him, and even I've had doubts about his passing ability, the coaches run to his defense. They love this big guy.
Well, I think really Jimbo Fisher's been warning everybody about what he can do when he's healthy and when the players around him are better. And I think they're better around him. They're better at receiver. They're better and deeper at running back. The line, I think, is a whole different look this year for Florida State. Much stronger and thicker than where they were a year ago. So you add that with the experience he gained last year, it's no wonder he's ready to have a big year.
Second down and 10. Tajh Boyd going downfield, complete. Beautiful pass. And Ford, the tight end who was once a wide receiver, crosses the 30-yard line. What a pretty play that was.
Well, they hit a touchdown on this call where it's a wheel route where they try to flood the zone and get the defense to pay attention to some of the receivers. This time it's Hopkins, so he cuts out and then he cuts down the sideline, and the defense lost him again in coverage.
That's 40 yards downfield. Now they ride Ellington, and he comes across the 25-yard line, and Smith making the stop.
And if I'm a Clemson fan, obviously it's going to be hard to see them have a chance to come back and win this game. But it's so early in the season, and I can just hear some of their fans thinking, there we go again, same old Clemson. You want to see them fight to the end. and show some backbone here after the way this second half has gone.
Tajh Boyd's doing just that. That one's incomplete to Ford. One of the things, Herbie, that bears repeating. The offensive and defensive lines on this Clemson team are very young and very inexperienced. And in a game like this, where you're playing, that makes a huge, huge difference. Now, what Sweeney and the coaching staff have to do is not allow this loss to become a second and a third loss like they spiraled downhill at the end of last season. They've got to regain it, win some games to get back on track. This is still a very attractive football team, and one with a lot of very good players on it. Now Boyd back in the pocket. Man covered. Picks up the first down.
Well, that's where a guy like Tajh Boyd, he took a big hit there. I hope he's all right. Linebacker and safety. Oh, looks like he got helmet hit there, helmet to helmet, but also before that collision, looks like somebody may have stepped on his foot. In fact, he's kind of limping there. Looks like
they're going to take him off.
Yeah.
So he's going to go out of the field, and his backup quarterback is Cole Stout, and Stout rides the running back on that first carry, and Vince Williams just jumped all over it. And Tajh Boyd said, "That's enough of that. I'm fine."
Well, you talked about how they can't let this game maybe affect them down the road and spiral the way they did a year ago. That's where, you know, they're young in some areas, but they also have some veterans. And Tajh Boyd has got to make sure that his leadership and Andre Ellington and some of these guys don't let that happen.
Watkins bursts into the middle. Crosses the 5.
Nice wrinkle that they have in this offense where he's so often in the jet sweep. And you get so concerned about Ellington, but they've got a couple extra backs back there to help block. And again, with the speed that you see from Sammy Watkins, he doesn't need a lot of room to be able to get by the second and even into the third level of a defense.
15 yards for Watkins. Ellington runs into a dark hole. There's no daylight.
It'd be hard for them to run the football in here, just going up into the middle. They're going to have to get their jet sweep stuff and maybe even a play action here to try to get Tajh Boyd a chance to throw the ball out on the outside.
They hit the box, and Tajh is going to do that. Deflected. Incomplete. Brown, the intended target in the end zone. The ball was deflected away, and it will be 3rd and goal.
The last thing you want to do against this Florida State defense is play the game in a phone booth. You want to try to stretch them out as much as you can. And when Clemson has had success tonight, that's what they've done. And then when they've done that, they've won one-on-one battles with their backs and their receivers against the Florida State skill.
Spins. Not going to make it. And Vince Williams.
How about Carradine coming off the edge against Brandon Thomas? Well, he has such a big role in this defense with Brandon Jenkins out for the year, lining up on the opposite side of Warner. And poor Brandon Thomas that time did not have a chance against Carradine.
Ellington in motion. Boyd rolls right, going to throw back. Oh, touchdown, tight end Brandon Ford. His second touchdown grab of the night. One for pride for Clemson.
Crazy thing there, Brent. Terrence Brooks actually read the play.
Yeah, he did.
A little delay there where, like Clemson does, they roll one way, try to make you fall asleep on the backside. The tight end just acted like he was confused. I'm not in the play. I'm just going to stand here. And then he went out for the pass. Brooks was there. He just wasn't able to go up and knock it down.
Tajh Boyd and Clemson going to go for 2 here. Put it on the 10. High snap. They weren't ready for it. It was over Ellington's head. And he has to go down on it.
Brandon Ford's had a big night tonight catching the football. Like I said, I think Brooks is maybe thinking about catching that football and going the other way. Ford has the size at 6'4".
Well, the good hands people are out for Florida State because they know what's coming. Onside kick. And it is brought down by the Noles with a penalty. Let's see if it went 10 yards here. Let me see what this call is.
The guy might have got a little bit of an early start for Clemson.
It's kicking team. 5 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, Florida State proved it here in the second half. They were under the gun, and the Noles first time scoring 49 plus at an ACC game in consecutive weeks. Remember, they beat Wake Forest 52-0. But at the end of the first half, you wondered a little bit about them, and of course another piece of magic disappeared for Clemson tonight, and Heather Cox in the Clemson release, they pointed out that when she was on the sideline, they were 4-0, and they even won a basketball game to go 5-0. So they thought that was all they needed tonight. We'll have to ask Heather what happened to that magic. Hey, Heather, what happened to your Clemson
I'm feeling
magic?
a ton of pressure, guys. Can you believe how superstitious the coaches are? Coach Sweeney even told me he'd give me the game ball if they won. But, you know, until I can kick a game-winning field goal or throw a last-second touchdown, I can't take any credit, and certainly I have nothing to do with it, obviously.
They're taking dead aim now. They're going to be in the conversation about the BCS Championship as long as they stay unbeaten. There's no question about that. Oklahoma will drop out of it for the time being. There he goes. Here goes Manuel. Come on, EJ.
It matters. Let's talk about Jimbo Fisher, because the baton was handed to him from Bobby Bowden. He's been recruiting great. It was a little bit of a kind of a difficult transition period. Even some of their former players weren't necessarily happy with the way Bobby had to leave. Jimbo needed a win like this. This is a team that is his team. The fan base is bought into him being the head coach, but he still needed this kind of landmark win to show that Florida State is capable of winning big games.
You talked about numbers, Robbie. Emmanuel, career high 380 passing. He's also rushed for over 100 yards in this game. Okay?
Pretty good.
And there's a formation that the coaching staff wanted to see, the victory formation. (49-37). Some are enjoying that final score more than others. Two coaches out there at midfield. Let's go down to Heather Cox with the winning coach. Heather.
Jimbo, congratulations. How on earth did you guys orchestrate that offensive explosion in the second half?
Our kids and our coaches, our assistant coaches did a tremendous job of getting our guys ready at halftime. Our kids, there's a lot of character in these kids. There's a lot of heart. We got a great group of kids, and I'm blessed to be able to coach those guys and coach with those guys.
And it wasn't easy for the first three quarters. You didn't take a lead till late in the third quarter. How did you keep this team believing?
Well, I think we've been through this situation a little bit last year, and we told ourselves we knew it was going to be tough. Things you remember in life are always tough. You got to keep fighting. That's the way we practice. That's the way we play. It's the way we think.
How can a win like this make you guys continue to believe and keep that momentum going?
Well, I think it builds confidence. But right now, what we got to do is enjoy this one, then forget it. Get ready for a great South Florida team next week.
Fans certainly enjoying it as well with firecrackers. Thanks so much, Coach.
Heather, the fireworks exploding here for Kirk Herbstreit and Heather Cox. We sure enjoyed being with you tonight. Come on back next Saturday. We'll take you to the studio now for the Ford wrap-up with Robert Flores.